Howdy, 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 everybody. Welcome back to Anti-Tools Farm. Monday 8th
Hello, hello.
of fall. And our dog has trapped us indoors. We can't leave. Send help.
Takes a little bit of persistence. Ooh, I like that rain, except I think we already have all the fish we need.
We
Yeah, because we
do.
finished the fish tank last time.
Yeah. Linus says it's blackberry season.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah. He lost his basket. How do I
Oh, I
find
think
his
I know where that
basket?
is. I think the basket is if you go up above the bus and then turn left and walk to an area that doesn't look like it should be an area, I think that's where his basket is.
Okay, so it's kind of near the tunnel? Is that fair to
Yeah,
say? Cool. We have 6 quartz now. That's nice.
nice. That's another bomb. Plus 1 quartz. Okay, so last stream we got a ton done. We got so deep in the mines. We, I, I was trying to count it. We've used like 10-ish staircases so far and gotten to level 30 of the mines, or 31
Wow.
technically, but 30 is the exciting one because that one's got an elevator.
Yeah.
So we're just killing it.
Yeah, things are
We
moving
also
way
finished the fish
fast.
tank. So the main thing that we're working on right now, I guess, yeah, let's introduce what we're doing. We should probably do that at the start of every episode. Uh, Hello, my name is Berkeley, and this is my companion Jared.
Hi.
Companion, colleague,
Companion.
colleague,
We share a bed. Companion.
compatriot. Okay, that's fair. And we are beating Stardew Valley without using any tools. Bum bum bum. So right now we're doing a lot of fishing and foraging, except not fishing anymore because we finished fishing. Uh, but we are now at a point where we are able to explore the mines using staircases that we get by trading jade with the desert trader. We've got our jade from a crystallarium, and we've got our first jade from a fishing treasure chest. That is the state of the world right now. Once we get deep enough in the mines, we'll switch and start using our crystallarium for quartz full time so that we can get bombs, and we'll use those bombs to farm.
Indeed. Side note, how much of these blackberries should I pick? Should I spend effort on that, or would you prefer that I get into the mines and keep digging?
Uh, I don't know. The If we're just gonna sell the blackberries, probably not. If we want to keep them as a food source so that we can have more energy and health in the mines, that might be worth it, but I wouldn't spend a ton of time on it.
Okay. I'm only going to pick what I walk past then on my way to Linus to give him his basket.
Cool. So yeah, mining or going through the mines, I guess not really mining. Going through the mines without tools has been a great experience. Uh, so do you want to summarize what the strategy has been?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what we do is we go down to the lowest level we can access with the elevator. We look for a staircase that we can access either by killing monsters or by just bumping into it blindly. Like, it's already there naturally, if that makes sense. And then if we can go down, we continue downward as far as we can without using our homemade staircases. And then once we get within the correct number of levels to use our homemade staircases, that becomes an option. If, however, we can't access the depth that we need with our homemade staircases, then we don't use any. We go back up to the surface and we try again, because although the general layout of the level doesn't change, staircases spawn kind of randomly as you go down. There's probably math on the wiki that defines like the chances of finding staircases, but all I know is that they spawn randomly and you can find them by taking the elevator up and going back down again because it gives you a chance each time to have one spawned naturally.
Yep. And since we don't have tools, which means we can't farm, we've got plenty of time to just do that over and over again. So, with the law of large numbers, eventually we get what we need, and that's how we've been able to make so much progress through the mines.
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, we're getting lots of quartz that way, a little bit of other treasure. It's not too bad.
Yeah, yeah. We've got enough earth crystal now that we're able to sell it because we have two mayonnaise machines, which is sufficient for us. Oh, we have a quartz. We need a quartz for the community center. Whenever we feel like we have enough
Okay, I had
to
just picked one
spare
up,
one.
so
Cool. I right now am just going through and looking at the list of everything that we still need to donate. There's a there's the construction bundle that needs wood and stone and hardwood.
yeah.
I don't know if we've gotten any hardwood yet. I think the only way that we can get it for now is uh, by destroying barrels in the
Yeah,
mines. So there's a small chance of getting it there. Eventually, we've got some mahogany seeds already. So eventually we'll be able to plant mahogany trees on our farm and blow them up with bombs and get hardwood that way. So
that's how we cut wood
uh,
out here.
that's how we cut wood out here because we hate tools. And then the wood and stone we'll either have to use bombs or we'll just buy them from Robin. There's also an adventures bundle that only has debris from killing monsters. So
Yeah,
we need 99 slime. I think we're close to that. We need 10 bat wings. I don't know if we've got any of those yet.
we
Maybe we need to
have
get deeper in the mines.
one. I put one in the chest.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we're on our way there. And then a solar essence and a void essence, which I think you need to be pretty deep in the mines to get those.
Yeah, those you have to fight enemies that can use magic, I think, to get those, right?
Yeah, they're not too tough as long as your sword is upgraded, but we um our swords are the weapons that we have are really good for the high levels of the mind. I think our luck is going to run out eventually on that. We'll kind of catch up to where we should be.
Yeah. Fishing a lot gave us some advantages. We got nice weapons, we got a lot of money, but at some point, as we pick up momentum down here in the mines, we're definitely going to outrun what we can sustain damage-wise. And eventually we're going to need slingshots and stuff, right?
I have actually never been a big fan of the slingshots, so I rarely use them in my games, so
Yeah.
they're not really ever necessary. But we will get some. I think it's level 40, you get the first slingshot, and then later you get a better slingshot.
Okay. I've never been good at using them, but I figured that's just I was bad. But maybe they're just hard to use.
You and I both had the same experience, I think, where we started playing on mobile and then eventually switched to PC.
Yep.
And slingshots are annoying on mobile. So I think that was why I never got into it.
Yeah, I bought a little controller to use with my phone so I could play Stardew Valley a little more easily on my phone.
Oh, nice.
But it didn't. I mean, obviously, didn't help me with the slingshot. I'm still bad. All right.
So I've finished looking through the community center and what we have left, and it's looking like I don't see anything surprising. There's like a lot of crops that we need to get that we're just gonna have to wait. there's some more animal and artisan bundle things that we can be working towards. We've got Robin working on upgrading our coop right now, so we can get. I think we already have a duck, but so we can get a rabbit.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, but I think no big surprises. Just slowly working on being able to get more diverse items.
Were we talking last week about how rabbits' feet are like naturally shed by rabbits in this world?
Yeah, it's a little disturbing. It's best not to think about it.
Fair enough. All right. 35 is giving me some trouble. I've made it
Really?
down to 35, but I'm not having much success finding a stairway.
Oh, I should have given you the glow ring so that you could navigate those dark levels easier.
I could I could turn up the brightness on my monitor.
That's
That
the other way to do it.
seems like cheating though.
I always felt both smug and ashamed when I would do that in Minecraft. Be like deep in the mines, out of the resources that I needed to make torches, and just quietly, casually turn up the brightness.
To maximum.
Yeah,
I always played with max brightness. That's I don't know if that
that's
makes me a bad
smart.
player, but that was me.
No, I think that's the way to do it.
I wonder why they include other brightness settings though. Is it just a monitor calibration thing or are there some people who like not being able to see anything ever?
Are you talking about the brightness in the game or the brightness of your physical monitor?
In the game, yeah, specifically.
Oh, yeah, it's probably for like the really hardcore people that only have fun when it's too hard to have fun.
Oh shoot, it's midnight. Okay, heading back to the floor. You know, it's funny that you mention that type of gamer because I've definitely been that guy.
Uh-huh.
Uh but it's only certain things that I can handle that on. Like if it's a strategy game, I need it to be straightforward or I'm just not going to be able to do anything.
Uh-huh.
But if it's something that like tests my like situational thinking, that's a little different. And I enjoy a challenge in that area. Hey, Berkeley's hitting the sack. Stop that. We need that sack.
Well, it'll stick around no matter how much I hit it.
Oh, so last time you passed out before you made it to the bed, but there were no negative repercussions because I was
Oh,
in
yeah,
bed.
that's right.
I wonder if
That
that's going to
was
happen
weird.
again.
Yeah, we'll see if it goes the other way. I suspect that since you're the farmer and I'm the farm hand, that there will be more consequences if you don't make it. But we'll see.
I've arrived. Success. Gets robbed anyways. Okay, level 2 combat, and I've unlocked the life elixir recipe.
Nice. The life elixir, I think, takes one of each type of mushroom, so maybe we can start saving those from our mushroom cave.
Yeah. Let me take a look at that recipe.
We got a battery last night too.
Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, it needs red, purple, morel, and chanterelle.
Oh, not a common?
Not a common.
Okay.
And Linus sent me the sashimi recipe.
Oh, nice.
Thanks,
Now you
Linus.
can court Sebastian.
Ah, great.
Oh, except not because we don't have a kitchen. We haven't upgraded our farm enough to get that.
Yeah,
Ooh,
we'll need a
Robin's
lot
done
of wood
upgrading
to
the
do
coop.
that. Oh, nice. Let me come take a look at it. Looks like the fair is going to be in a week. So next stream, we should be able to do some fair games. Oh, big coop
Yeah.
is big. Wow.
Big coop is big. Well said.
Very nice. And our little dinosaur is
Uh,
all grown up.
oh, is he?
He looks that way to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, no, he's gonna get bigger than that, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wait, maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of the Pepperexes. That's an enemy in the desert mine that will sometimes drop dinosaur eggs, but is not the same as a dinosaur.
If it drops dinosaur eggs and has a name Pepperexis, that sounds like a dinosaur.
It breathes fire though, so it's different.
I don't think anybody can prove that the dinosaurs didn't breathe fire.
Oh wow, that's dang.
It's probably not very likely, but could happen.
Okay, we got 2 red mushrooms and 2 morels today, so I'll save those
Excellent.
in this here green chest. Okay, what do you want to work on today?
Well, I think I gotta go back into the mine.
Back to the mines?
I might bring a bomb with me this time. I didn't have any last time, and that, as sad as it is, that might be what's required. So I've got a cherry bomb and a regular bomb. Are you okay if I take both?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I mentioned this to you before the stream started, but just for all you listeners at home or viewers at home, the most important thing we can be doing with bombs right now is leveling up Jared's farming XP. Oh wait, before you go, let me give you the glow ring.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, oh
Where are
no.
you? Oh, there you are.
Okay, there we go. Uh, let's see if I can just gift it.
I don't know how to say this, but there's this threshold every certain amount of steps that I cross, and I lose my vision completely.
Okay, do you have the glow ring?
I do.
Sweet. Do you know how to equip it?
I do.
Okay,
It's done.
then we're in business. Okay, so the most important thing we can be doing with bombs right now is leveling up Jared's mining XP, because once you get to level 2, I believe, you'll be able to craft cherry bombs, and then I think level
Okay.
4 you can craft regular bombs. So then we can just use the materials that we have to get as many bombs as we need, and we won't have to rely on the desert trader.
We're getting
So
pretty
that will allow
close
us
to
to progress
that.
faster. Getting close to what?
I think I'm getting. I might have already achieved level 1. Maybe that's just combat, though. I'm not sure. I'll have to check my stats here. Yeah, I have level 0 in mining. I was wrong.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because we've only used used a bomb once or twice, I think.
This does make it easier to see.
Good, yeah.
Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. So the trick is, when is it worth it to use my bombs? And would it be better to go back up to levels where I know there are enemies that have bombs, fight them, and then return to where I need to use the bombs?
That is a good question. Since with the bombs it's all probability, I don't think there's a hard rule, so I would just go by vibes. Which is what my sister said when I was asking for cooking advice, and it was infuriating.
That
So
is
I hope
infuriating.
you're experiencing the same thing.
I, my mom is that way. The way she cooks is like very. She doesn't have recipes for most of what she makes. She just does what she wants to do. And that's cool. Like, I really respect that because it shows the true mastery of the art. But for me, as, you know, partly as an engineer and also as a noob, I need a recipe, man. I need it. Even if I don't follow it, I need it just so that I can see if what I'm doing sort of makes sense. Follow the vibe.
Okay, Megan in the chat asks, which non-dateable character would you guys want to date?
Myself. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I don't know. Maybe Mayor Lewis, and then like poison him in his sleep so I could become mayor.
That's hilarious because when we asked what job in town you would want to have, you also said mayor just to F with Mayor Lewis.
Well, I see two routes to F with Mayor Lewis. I think there's a lot of opportunity there, both ways.
There's the replace him or the relationship him. I thought that alliteration would turn out cooler than it did, sorry.
Oh, it was fairly cool. I think you're cool,
Relationship
Berkeley.
didn't work as a verb as well as I wanted. My answer is Robin, hands down, no questions asked.
Why?
I mean, look at her. Just
Is it the
kidding. Well,
suspenders?
partially. It's the hair and the confidence and the just how invested she is in her craft. Like, Marnie is also someone that you would think is invested in her craft until you visit her and realize that she's never home doing her job. But Robin is just there and helpful all the time.
That's true. And she could make you cool stuff, you know? Like, I don't know. Hey, babe, I made you this bed. Hey, babe, I built you an entire building.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
You want to upgrade your house? That'll take 3 days. I can do that.
So it's basically like, I don't know. Maybe it's just that I can do that, but it reminded me a little bit of Sam from Holes.
I
Just
don't remember
incredibly
Sam and
useful.
Holes.
Uh, he's like the love interest in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
past, and
yeah.
he's always like, I can fix that. Like any problem, he can fix it. You know,
Okay, yeah.
that's
I
cool.
forgot that that movie has two storylines.
Yeah, so did
I was
they.
only thinking, I was like, armpit, zigzag, magnet. Who, what? Sam?
I think his name is Sam. If I'm wrong, dear viewer, I sincerely apologize. It has been at least 20 years since I saw that movie last. It's been a very
Oh,
long time. Probably
really?
not
I
actually 20
rewatched it
years.
recently. I love that movie. Did you know that it's the book has a sequel as well?
Yeah, yeah, I've actually read the sequel.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. What is it called? It's like Little Steps or something. It's pretty
It's
good.
Little Steps or Baby Steps, I can't remember. I think it's Little Steps, yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. It deals a lot with like for anyone who hasn't read it, it deals with like institutional racism really well and how hard it is to get back on your feet as like an ex-convict. So it's about Armpit is the main character or Theodore once he is out of Camp Green Lake. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Just trying to get a job and get on his feet and like all the prejudice against him and how the whole system is kind of
Kind of
not in his
rigged.
favor.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you're interested in a non-fictional book about that, there's a really good book that I've been reading called The New Jim Crow, which talks a lot about
Hmm.
the justice system and the correctional system and and how it is rigged to give minorities a extremely difficult time, and how, you know, your prison sentence isn't the limit of the punishment that you receive. So yeah, New Jim Crow, if you're interested in that topic, is also a great book about that. Probably less
Sounds really
entertaining
good.
though.
I recently read one called Cast. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, yeah. You that's actually on my wish list, but I haven't read it yet. Tell us about it.
Well, it's about a lot of the same themes about institutional racism in the United States. And then it also draws an interesting comparison between uh, like American racism and issues with race, and it compares it to India's caste system and makes the argument that America's brand of racism resembles a caste system a lot more than it resembles other traditional historical racism. Uh, Things like just how generational it is and how codified in law it was for most of our nation's history, and how that's still having like economic and social repercussions today. Uh, yeah, really good book. I recommend it.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's critical for us to understand as a
Hmm.
society if we want to move forward and try to make America a place that it should be for everyone.
Yeah, the book started with a metaphor that I found really poignant that uh, if you bought and moved into a really old house and you were aware that it had some problems, maybe for example a leak in the basement, it it's not your fault that the leak is there, but if you don't fix it, then the whole house is going to be less valuable and eventually unlivable. Uh, so arguing about whose fault the leak is doesn't make a lot of sense, but learning about the leak so you can fix it is imperative.
Yeah,
And I really liked that framing because I know that a lot of people in the US today get annoyed or angry when people talk about racism because they don't want to confront it or admit that it's a problem and they don't want to feel guilty about it. But treating it as a leaky basement in an old house that you inherited instead of as like something to feel guilty about, I hope would resonate with a lot of people that maybe currently aren't on board with some of the changes that need to be made.
yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense also because assigning blame isn't going to fix the problem. Fixing the problem fixes the problem.
Hmm.
So, and I love reading about history. I think everybody should have an understanding, at least as much as they feel like they can get, of the history of where they live and their the world as much as you can handle. So it is important to take those things seriously, like causes and effects, and learning about your roots as well is very important. But when it comes down to it, the most important thing is understanding where you're at now. And sometimes digging into the past can really help you do that, and sometimes it isn't as productive. And I'm not here to say, like when that is and when that isn't the way to go. But if you struggle with digging into history because you are worried about the blame game, then you don't have to do that, and you don't have to worry about, um, being blamed. You're your own person. It's your life. I guess is maybe what I'm saying. So do what you can with what you have.
Congrats, you made it to bed
I
again.
did. I was cutting it close. So, a little bit of a setback. I miscalculated. So I made it down to 39 and then couldn't get down one more floor.
Oh no, that's a bummer.
So that's rough, but that's where we're at. I did get a lot of copper out of it, though,
Oh,
which is
nice.
cool. And I got a staircase with every bomb I used, so I wasn't
Oh,
wasting
cool.
anything, but just not quite making progress as fast as I'd like to.
Just the old off by one error.
Yep. I've got enough bat wings now to go fulfill that requirement.
Cool.
And let's see what else. I've got 2 more quartzes, so I can take one of those. I'll put one in the chest and I'll take one over. I have a earth crystal sitting around. Do we need that?
No, we can go ahead and sell that.
Okay.
Is combat still feeling easy in the mines? Would it be helpful to have a second person
Yeah, it hasn't been
playing
a
back?
problem so far.
Cool. Then
So,
I am going to keep dinking around on land like I have been.
okay.
No, I'll try to go get a rabbit from Marnie.
Awesome.
Maybe 2 rabbits if you're okay with it, because
Yeah.
I, j- I hate just sitting around waiting for that rabbit foot.
Right. We can afford it for sure. So,
The only
You're the guy with the
downside,
master plan.
not anymore. We're kind of pushing the limits of what my master plan was, other than using bombs to farm, which we're not able to do quite yet. Let's see. The only downside to getting a second rabbit would be that that's one less dinosaur that we can have on our farm.
That's true. And the dinosaurs do pay out quite a bit, but
Ooh, actually, I did the math, and they are significantly less profitable than chickens
oh really?
because
Okay.
they eat twice as much, and they, especially if you're using the mayonnaise machine, they eventually, well, they only lay eggs 1/7 as often. So a chicken lays 7 eggs in the time it takes a dinosaur to lay 1 egg, and the chicken eggs are like half as valuable or a third as valuable.
Interesting. Okay.
So yeah, the dinosaur thing is definitely not smart in like a maximum optimal strategy sense.
Yeah.
It would just be for kicks and giggles.
All right. The geologist bundle is complete.
Nice.
And our reward is an Omnigeode. 5 Omnigeodes.
Oh, cool. I can't remember. I know you can trade Omni Geodes with the Desert Trader. I don't remember what for. Do you want me to
Yeah.
look that up, or do you want to just bust it open?
No, let's save them. If you want to look it up, go for it. That would be useful to know.
Okay, I am naming our rabbit Professorson after Professorson.
Which that was a brilliant episode.
That was really well written.
And
If you're just joining us for the first time, we're naming all of our farm animals after community characters from the TV show Community. I'm buying a lot of hay now too. Sorry. For the
you're good. I
money
think
going down.
one of the bulletin board bundles needs hay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it does. So there's the fodder bundle that needs hay, wheat, and apples. Uh, wheat is wheat was one of the items that was scaring me when I was trying to figure out if a no tools run was possible,
Yeah.
and was is actually what ended up leading to our definition of what a tool is, because there's no way to get hay without a uh, but then I realized that scythes are you can't upgrade them in the blacksmith shop. So
Aha.
that kind of contributed to our definition that a tool is anything you can upgrade in the blacksmith shop.
Yeah.
The person that I watched on YouTube that did a no tools run, they had a slightly different definition that they weren't going to use any starting tools. So the first fishing pole that they got, they didn't use that. They waited until they could buy another one from Willie.
Oh,
And
interesting.
they didn't use, so they didn't use any of the tools that we're not using. And then also they didn't use the starting scythe. They waited until they could get the golden scythe, which is in a special mine. You have to fight your way through the mine, and then you get the golden scythe at the end. So they only used the golden scythe, which was kind of interesting.
How many mines are there? Because there's the one in the desert and there's this one.
I think there's 4 or 5 total, depending on what you count. So there's one in the quarry, which is a place that we haven't gotten to yet in this playthrough. Uh, that's that bridge that's near the mines that leads to quarry, and the quarry has a mine off to the side.
Okay, yeah.
And then there's one on Ginger Island. And then I think there's another one in the sewer where the witch lives.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you'd qualify that as a mine. I can't remember if there's things to mine there. But there are definitely are enemies to fight.
It's a fight club.
It's a fight club with the fight club swamp.
Okay. So I'm pioneering a bit of a new strategy. So if you go down to level
Uh-huh.
10 in the mines, there's a lot of exposed sand, and you can fight those little burrowing creatures for bombs. So I'm going to do
Okay.
that to collect cherry bombs, and then hopefully be able to convert that into mine progress.
Nice. Love that. Good idea. I will. I don't know if me being in the mines will prevent the mines from resetting the way that we want them to.
Well, there's
Because
only
otherwise
one way
I,
to find out, right?
yeah, that's true. Check the wiki. Just kidding. Yeah, I will head down. Because like if I'm trying to do that on level 11 and you're trying to do that on level 15, I don't want to like prevent it from resetting for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll try it out and see.
Okay.
So I want to talk to you about a different type of RPG, not farming simulators,
Yay.
but tabletop RPGs.
That's my jam
So
right there.
both of us play Dungeons and Dragons and Savage Worlds. We actually have a podcast where we play a game called Savage Worlds. I've added it to our link tree, so you should be able to get to it from the same link that's in our Instagram and Twitch and YouTube bios. But it's called Choose a Choice. We're playing in a sci-fi setting. Uh, it's a lot of fun if you want to go check it out. My wife is on it, and Jared's two brothers are on it. So it's the five of us playing
Yeah.
Savage Worlds.
And if you do decide to do that, I want to say like episode 6 is a pretty good place to start. Maybe episode 5, somewhere in there. The first few were a little rough because we were like learning how to use the format and everything. But
Yeah, and we got better audio equipment later on and like improved our editing process.
if you want to go there from the start, I mean, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, there's also a couple standalone episodes if you want a smaller introduction. Uh, there's The Price is Fight and then the Magpie episodes you can look up. Loved Magpie.
Magpie was so much fun. So
Anyways,
yeah,
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, what we kind of discovered D&D like at different stages in our lives, I feel like, and independently. I don't think we ever talked about it. In fact, I'm not sure we ever acknowledged that either of us knew what it was or that it existed prior to.
I think the way
Uh,
that I found out is I was chatting with your parents and they asked what we do for fun and I mentioned D&D and your mom said, "Oh, Jared wants to start a D&D podcast. You should talk to him." I think that's how I found out that you play.
Thanks, Mom.
She's the real MVP.
She is the real MVP. Shout out to moms everywhere for making Dungeons and
And
Dragons possible for their children.
yes, famously important in the propagation of D&D.
So beyond that, though, like how did you find out about D&D originally?
Yeah, I remember being aware of it a lot. Like it's referenced in pop culture quite a bit. There's the excellent episodes of Community that are all organized around D&D. I
Yeah,
watched Freaks and Geeks growing up, and there's an episode where they play. Uh, so my first like attempt at playing something similar to D&D was in high school. One of our friends just got his graphing calculator. We didn't know the rules to D&D at all, but we knew that it involved dice. So he got his graphing calculator and would use like the random number generator on it to get a number between 1 and 20. And he would just narrate stories and ask us what we did, and then use his little random number generator to decide what happened.
that is so
Which really,
interesting.
yeah, at
Who
its
who
heart,
was
that
that?
is what. D&D is. It was Fez
Oh yeah,
is what he
Fez.
went by.
Oh man. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, that was so fun that he did that. Anyway, so I had a lot of fun doing that. Didn't spend a lot of time on it though. Then I had some friends in college that I knew played. My wife and I had been married about a year and realized that we spent all our free time watching TV and wanted
Classic.
a new hobby. And so we just asked this friend if he could teach us. He said later that that was one of his favorite texts he's ever gotten, was the "Will you teach me how to play D&D" text,
Yeah.
which I can relate to now after having introduced multiple people to the game. So yeah, we joined his campaign and played with him for about a year. And we've got some other friends that we've been playing with ever since.
That's awesome. And it's cool that you had people that you could play with when you found out about it. So
Yeah, you had a different experience, right?
I did. So my introduction to D&D was through one of my cousins who kind of mentioned it. I'm not sure how it came up, but I think he was talking with his brother about a campaign that he was doing, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds really cool." But I didn't have any of the stuff, and he didn't have any time to to hook me up, and we lived a few states apart, so it was, we couldn't play together. It was basically the upshot of that. So I got obsessed with it. I think I made a character sheet before I even had any of the players' handbooks. But this was back when D&D 4e was the main thing. In fact, I think it was fairly new at the time. This would have been the summer of 2013. And
Okay.
I convinced my mom to take me to the local game store, Rainy Day Games, in I want to say that's in Beaverton, Oregon. And she drove me there, and I didn't know what the handbook looked like, so I walked up to the cashier and I was like, "Hey, I want to buy a D&D player's handbook." And the dude kind of laughed at me because he knew what that would mean for my future life. I didn't know at the time what that would mean, but yeah, he showed me where to get it, and I spent basically the only money I had at the time to buy it because I didn't have a job yet. And then for the next like 2 years, I just read it. I read it front to back, and I never used it, except maybe once with that same cousin. When he came into town one time, I tried to get him to run a little campaign, and then, well, anyways, I don't want to throw shade on my cousin, but it didn't work out great my first time, but that's okay. Everybody has to start somewhere. But I love it. I was hooked. I was hooked, even though that attempt wasn't great, because it's so imaginative. I'm a pretty chaotic personality, if you if you couldn't tell from watching the stream, and so it just really worked for me. It provides an outlet. It provides a social activity. It's a great way to imagine and to be, and to try new things, which can be really frightening IRL because life is scary sometimes.
Yeah, I love all those things too. The imaginative aspect and the social aspect. It's a great way to stay connected with people.
That's true, actually. I think for us specifically, we kind of reconnected over that after spending a few years where we hadn't talked much. So
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, that's true. And now look at us, starting the anti-tools movement.
That's right. We're gorillas now. Not the animal. The other kind of gorilla. The
Okay, I got one
warriors.
cherry bomb yesterday. Do you have any?
I have 3.
Okay, let me give you mine. Toss that on the ground. Hope
Thank
it
you.
doesn't explode.
It worked. I have it.
Oh, I never looked up Omni Geodes. Let me check what the Blizzard Trader has for Omni Geodes.
So the little symbol, for me, it's the top right corner of my screen. It shows like the day and the date, and then below that it's got some other information, and one of those shows like falling leaves, which you can see on
Uh-huh.
screen, but in the little icon that shows it's falling leaves, it kind of looks like fire. And so I would love
Okay.
a season of the game where everything's just burning. Like you can't, which, in the Pacific Northwest, that's summer now. Thanks, climate change.
Yeah. World is too dry. That's funny. I was wondering if the one on, like the blue one on the left with the leaves blowing, if that's the weather, and the one on the right, the orange one is the season. I
Yeah.
Fire being the weather to me is even funnier than fire being the season.
And today's weather forecast shows a 78% chance of everything on fire. Back to you, Bob.
Oh, Megan in the chat says that the icon is indeed the weather, and on the day that you get married, it's a heart.
It's raining hard, or
That,
is it raining blood?
no, Jared, it's just sweet.
Is that because of the sugar in the blood?
Uh,
So, Berkeley,
okay. Oh yeah.
I was just going to ask, have you watched, since we're on the topic of D&D, have you watched any of the new Stranger Things?
I have not. So let me tell you my experience with Stranger Things.
Okay.
I missed the initial hype.
Oh, yeah.
I missed the second round of hype when season two came out. One of my this was my experience with season two was that my professor we had an essay due the same week, and she told us that all of us were going to get A's on it because she was going to be too busy watching Stranger Things to grade.
Was it true?
I got an A, and I got like a B minus on the final essay, so I assume that the difference was Stranger Things and not my essay quality.
That's awesome. And also, kind of sad, but awesome. Mostly
Yeah.
awesome. So yeah, did you ever watch any of it? Is that
So
what
yeah,
I'm gathering?
between seasons two and three, like before season three came out, I tried to watch it, but I was home alone, which doesn't happen often. Usually I'm home with my wife. Uh, I was home alone. It was like 11:30 at night when I started it, and if you've seen the show, the first 5 minutes are pretty intense, and it
Yes.
was too intense for me home alone at 11:30 at night. So I noped out of there and probably watched some more Community.
That
And I'm sure
tracks.
I would like it if I gave it a sporting chance, because I enjoy The Witcher. I've enjoyed other scary shows, but
Yeah.
that one was too much for me at the time.
Well,
Are you a Stranger Things fan?
I am. Oh no. I just got a notification that says Jared has culled the local Dougie population and everyone feels a little safer. All right.
That's yeah, we need the Dougies. I
We
don't know what
do
that means.
indeed. Anyways, yeah, I'm a big fan. This most recent season, I've only watched the first episode and a little bit of the second, but it's a lot more intense than any of the first three were, in my
That's what
humble
I've
opinion.
heard.
Yeah, I was surprised. I will say, if you have young kids or slash are probably younger than 14, I would not recommend because it's a little graphic. But it's still quite interesting, and because I've been so invested in the previous seasons, I gotta watch it through the end, whether it's scary or not. I'm committed now.
Nice.
So that
What do
being
you
the
think is the
case,
difference? Is it like
um,
because the actors are older now, right? Does that give them more leeway to be a little more
yeah.
intense?
So you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, right?
Uh-huh.
If you think about the progression of that show over the seasons that it has, they start getting into some pretty philosophical questions and, dealing with more. I mean, it's never super graphic, but it's just like it's everything in that show gets more personal as the stakes get higher, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense. And, you know, as the characters go through the show, eventually like more serious romances develop and all that stuff. So I think that that's a product of the show's core audience aging as the show is getting older, right? Like you can see the same thing in Harry Potter as well. Like the first Harry Potter book, the first 3 books really are pretty squarely kids to young, like very young teen kind of target audience. Whereas books 4 through 7 are a little bit more solidly in the young adult category, I felt like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's kind of the same thing. You know, a lot of the people who were into Stranger Things when Stranger Things first came out are now grown up. Or at least they're adults. I don't know maybe how grown up they are. Man, not a lot of luck here with bombs. Hopefully this will do the trick.
I've got one more bomb on me if you need it. Ooh.
Well, we're getting lots of stone, which will be good for the community center, but no stairways. I've got 4 left, so I'm not doing too bad.
Okay.
So anyways, the most recent season deals with Satanic Panic, which was kind of a big thing in the 80s surrounding D&D. There were a lot of conservative Christian folks who were pretty freaked out by it, including some of my extended family.
Yeah. I don't know if my mom was ever freaked out about it, but when I told her I was playing on Sundays at the time, and she kind of raised an eyebrow at that, like, "Oh, you're gonna play the Devils game on a Sunday?" Which she's mostly joking, but I think there's also some like internalized bias there.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know it's very interesting because I didn't understand that at all, especially just like reading through the game.
Yeah, there's nothing in the game that would suggest the backlash it received.
Yeah, so it's very interesting what people latch onto, and so in season 4 they kind of portray that and show a little bit of the cultural outcome of that. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So if you have the time, give it a watch.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try it out. Maybe I shouldn't commit to that. I will think about giving it a watch.
Yeah.
So one of the great things about RPGs in general, and especially tabletop RPGs, is tabletop RPGs is the genre of game that Dungeons and Dragons is. One of the great things about it is just making characters, because there's very little restriction on what type of person you can play. So I'm curious if you have any favorite characters that you've played, or it sounds like maybe you were creating characters before you ever got to play in a campaign.
Yeah.
Any characters that you wanted to play?
How do I say this? There's a certain, and it's not good to dig too much or to read too much into like somebody's D&D character for like what that means about them as a person or whatever. But all of my characters tend to be pretty punchy. Like,
okay.
Like definitely fighty and silly and you know, weird. So in the previous iteration, so in our podcast, we're playing in a world called Edenia. That's the world setting. And we my brothers and I and some people from our local area had a previous campaign in Edenia. And my character for that campaign was a cyborg named Ben Warren, who had like metal implants in his arms. And
I think we're gonna have to start planting some bombs. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm trying to figure out where the best density is. Maybe right here.
Yeah, that looks good.
No luck. I've got one left.
There's
How
another
about you?
good spot up here. I've got one.
Okay. Right in this hallway?
Okay. Yeah. I
All
think
right.
you can get all 5, maybe.
No luck again.
Yikes. Okay, let me toss you mine. Last chance.
What's down here? Yeah, there's a reasonable one down here. There it is.
Nice. Got to 40. Love it. Okay, sorry. So this was a cyborg character?
Yeah, so he was like kind of a monk, and he was very focused on like close combat kind of style, but he was also very not serious, which I tend to like. I have a hard time doing a lot of serious role play, which I don't know if that really shows in the podcast. Hopefully it doesn't show in the podcast. But a lot of my characters tend to kind of showcase the weird parts of my own personality, I think. And I like to have fun with that. I enjoy the comedy aspect of D&D. I think there's a lot of funny situations you can get into, and because it's not real life, you can do stuff you wouldn't normally do. Obviously, fighting is a huge part of that for me.
Yeah.
Not something I look forward to. I actually don't. I prefer to focus on more of the interpersonal interaction stuff or like puzzles. I have more fun with those than actual fighting. But like I'm not going out and fighting in the streets, but that's a big part of a lot of campaigns is the fighting aspect. But also, like stealing stuff and potentially calling names and all the funny, situationally funny things that you can do when real people aren't involved in getting hurt. Obviously, it needs to be done tastefully, but can be quite entertaining.
For sure. Yeah, I love that.
All right. Man, it's about that time of day again. That's crazy. The time just flies by.
Yeah. Oh,
Level
I got
3
level 2 combat
combat.
as well.
Level 1
Nice.
mining. Cherry bomb
Huh?
recipe obtained.
Huzzah. Whoa, on level 1?
Yep.
Okay, that means we don't need quartz anymore. I mean, we can still use it, but that gets rid of our dependency on quartz.
Excellent.
So this is really exciting. Let's take a minute. Can you show us what the recipe is for the cherry bomb?
Yeah, go ahead and yeah, we'll start the next day and I'll pull it up real quick. Alrighty. So cherry bomb needs 4 copper ore and 1 coal. That is super inexpensive.
Yeah, let's check. We've got 61 copper right now,
I've
so
got
that's enough for
14
15
and
cherry
4
bombs.
coal in my inventory.
Wow.
So I've got 3 bombs right now.
Okay, that's a ton. And then we can buy more from Clint. Let me look up what the prices are. Okay, copper is 75 gold each, and coal is 150 each. So I think that's 450 total. Excuse me, 450 total to get the materials to get a bomb,
Yeah,
which is steep, but not terrible. Um, yeah, we've basically got an unlimited supply of cherry bombs now, provided we have enough money.
excellent.
So if we want, we could start clearing the farm, or
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
keep focusing on
You have time for another
mining.
day?
Yeah, I do. I was talking about in general, but if you want to do another day right now, I'm good.
Oh, no, whatever. Whatever. I think I
Let's save it.
misinterpreted. Okay, we'll save it.
Let's let everyone savor the excitement.
We've finally achieved bomb self-sustaining power,
Yeah,
self-sufficiency. That's the phrase.
yeah, that's huge. So now, well, one, we can walk around our farm more easily. But probably more importantly, we'll be able to start farming eventually, kind of soon. Um, and that is gonna unlock basically everything that we need for the community center.
So, since we're not saving this morning, I can just give the
Yeah,
viewers a
that's
little
fair.
preview taste of what it's going to look like. See that? See all that land we just cleared?
We can
Amazing.
plant things on that land. We'll need some sprinklers, but we can start smelting for that.
That's so cool.
Oh, it
Explosives.
would be, since we're not saving this, could we just test how many bombs we need to break down a tree?
Sure.
I know that it's more than one, but I couldn't find anything definitive on the wiki.
Let me craft a few more here. Okay, we got 10 here. I'm going to put a bomb at the base of this red tree here. That's one.
One,
And two.
two,
And three.
three,
I'm starting to get worried. Four.
four. I'm just gonna see if I have more health than a tree.
Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Or maybe that was nine. This is 10. 10. The answer is 10.
Good timing. And it got that second one. That's good to know. That's a pretty wide blast radius for tree damage.
True.
It was a very small one for like being able to till the soil, but that was like 1, 2, 3, 4 squares away diagonally.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, four.
presumably we would need another 2 or 3 to get the stumps.
Right. Right.
Good to know I do have more health than a tree. Barely. I've got
Con-
14 health left.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, thanks everyone for joining us on Stardew Valley Tools Aren't Real Edition. We are having so much fun beating the community center without tools, and we hope you can tell all your friends that tools are out and dinosaurs are in.
That's right. And bombs are in if your friends are
And
cool
bombs are in.
enough.
Heck yeah. We've
All
got
right.
links in our bio wherever you're watching this, either on Twitch or on YouTube. We've had quite a few people join our YouTube channel, so that's exciting. But please follow us on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube, and check out Choose a Choice as well. Those are all on our link tree.
All right. Catch you hopefully next week. Probably we'll be back to the 7:15 PDT time slot that we typically run. But if not, check our Instagram to get the details. And hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.